Yo, what is happening, YouTube? It's Madman coming at you with another video. And today I bring you a NETDUMA guide. We're going to be going through the menu list and we will be covering the basics of exactly what does what. Okay, starting off, we're going to start from top to bottom. And as you can see, the NETDUMA will always give you a little pop-up of exactly what the menu item is for. In this case, host filtering says lag is often caused by distance or by connection to players with bad connections. Solve this here. Host filtering. First off, you want to put your PlayStation in one of these four places. You go by selecting a device. In this case, it's my PS4. Hit next, PlayStation Network. Click done. In my case, it's already set up, so I don't need to do anything else. Okay, the geo filter. You want to set your home location by clicking this button and say we live in Texas. And I like to keep my filter distance to about 900 miles away. And you can zoom in 2.5 times and all the way up to 15 times. I think I like to set mine at 5. And you can go in, zoom in here, going back and forth. This just increases it by increments. I like to keep mine at 900. Give or take. And this just flushes out all the temporary bans. You can actually ban servers that actually gave you a bad experience. And the deny and allow list. This is what we call a blacklist and a whitelist. I'm actually going to turn on my PlayStation. Start a game so you can see what exactly is happening here with the map. And as you can see, it's already looking for the dedicated servers all over the map. And once we click on a game, you can see it already found a game. You see where everybody's at. Usually the big circles means it's the host. See, this is the dedicated server. Usually you'll get a temporary ban button here if it's the dedicated server. Sometimes you get connected to people hosting the game, and this is what you get. If you get a player host, you can ban them by simply going here. You get 10% for being bad, then you click update. Or if it was a good experience, you want to hit 100% and then click update. I'm not going to do any of those because I don't know exactly what was happening there. What you want to do is have your friends list whitelisted. What that means is, say you have a friend in Northern California, you have your geo filter set on, it's going to block them from entering your party. So what you want to have done is disable your geo filter. You join a lobby, and then you invite your friends. Your friends will start popping up in like circles here. So your friend in Northern California will pop up right there. You'll click on his circle, and you'll have to whitelist them and send them to 100% here. And then you hit update. That way, even if your geo filter is on, they're whitelisted. That means that even if your geo filter is enabled, they'll still be able to join your parties. You'll have to do that with all your friends, so make sure when you're joining in a party with friends you haven't whitelisted to do this. The geo filter has strict mode, which if you click it, it's gonna only let you connect to hosts in this radius. You have strict mode and you have ping assist on, you'll be able to connect to a host that has a ping of 50 milliseconds outside of your radius. I don't like to go out that because sometimes it'll connect me to people who are further away from my radius, and distance equals lag. Well, that pretty much sums it up here for the host filter. Okay, next we're going to go into the congestion control. Congestion control, right here we get a pop-up saying lag can be created by excess demand from family or friends you live with. Click here to prevent congestion and prioritize the devices that matter to you. First, you want to do a speed test to set your bandwidth on. On this situation, it differs from Xbox and PlayStation and PC. I am on the PS4, and I like to use the algorithm reactive. I've heard that some Xbox players like to use preemptive over reactive. In my case, reactive has always been better. Right here, you can do what is called throttling your internet. So reaching your max bandwidth will cause lag spikes in your game. To prevent that, you're gonna lower your bandwidth probably to the 70%. Is what's recommended by NETDUMA. In my case, you don't see the flower here with all the devices connected to the NETDUMA because I only use my NETDUMA with my gaming system. And you can prioritize traffic through the flower. You can go upload and download sites. And then I believe there's a share access button here. You click that to share the access that's not being used. Sometimes I find it better to have access shared unticked on the upload side. You also have down here your hyper traffic. Like I said, if you have any questions, you can always click the little icons they have here, like this question mark, hyper traffic, critically low latency traffic like gaming can bypass all network queues. There's nothing stopping this connection. It's not put into a queue. Like, for example, it's not in a waiting line. It just goes straight to where it needs to go. And you could put to and fro from it, like outgoing and incoming. And I have my ports here set up for IW. Next, we have VPN. If you use VPN services, this is where you would be able to set that up. I'm not going to go into too much detail there. In profiles, I believe there's a couple of defaults you can load. Here you just load and unload your settings, and they have a couple of them that are already pre-installed here. Pretty basic stuff. You can manage them, you can delete them if you want. You can actually save your current setting, save the profile, and you'll be able to load it here later if you want. Network monitor just lets you see exactly what's happening on your network, who's hogging up all the internet, the bandwidth, who you can scream at if needed to. Device manager, here you can rename all your devices and see exactly what's connected to your NETDUMA. Internet diagnosis, here you can run a test and see exactly how good your connection is. It'll disconnect all your internet, so if you do that, be careful. You're not doing something important online. And it'll give you the details of exactly what's happening. You can, this has links to the Xbox Live page, see if there's any problems happening with that, as well as for the PlayStation. Next, this is mostly for PC gamers. I don't game on the PC much, so to be honest, I don't really have much experience on this, but it looks pretty self-explanatory. Device, game quality, start direction, action. So we're not going to go into depth on that one. Probably going to skip that one and go to help tours. If you have any questions, this will give you a little tour of exactly what you can do for what you want or what you need. And next we go into settings. We have Wi-Fi, pretty basic stuff there. Set up your Wi-Fi. Port forwarding. If you haven't watched one of my recent videos, I go in depth about port forwarding and UPN, so I won't go into that much. Really, there's not much to look at in the LAN and the WAN section. So I recommend you leave these two by default. And DHCP list, this is where you need to go to give your devices a static IP. Right here you'll have a list of all your devices. I believe you can change the name here as well. Then they'll have your MAC addresses, and you can click reserve, and then you pick a number. By default, I believe you can pick from 100 to 250 here. Hit click apply, and then that's all it takes to have a static IP. And the last thing we're gonna look at is the miscellaneous settings. Right here you have a list of pretty self-explanatory things. Enable deep packet processing this looks at every packet just a little bit more in depth. And if you want your speed to be faster, it is recommended that you unclick this. You can have these two clicked if you want NETDUMA to help you fix an issue you're having. These three I usually don't mess with and have them all unclicked. And X is the control panel. This whole interface is called the control panel. If you want it to be accessed like on your network from any other, say you like in my situation, I have two routers connected to my system, to my modem. One is my primary, which handles all the Wi-Fi, and if I'm on that network, I could actually access this control panel by clicking this. I don't have to be connected directly to the NETDUMA to access it. Enable cookies, you should always have that. It remembers all your geo setting filters, or all your geo filter settings. This, to be honest, I don't mess with, so I would leave it unchecked. Stealth mode, I believe, turns off the lights on your router. Turbo mode and super turbo mode. This is for if you have really high speed internet. I believe if you have like gigabit speeds, you want to have this clicked. It does disable the congestion control though, so keep that in mind. Turbo mode, I think it's like maybe 300 to 400 megabits download speeds. So if you're having trouble with that, you want to click these. If you want to have full speed, you definitely want to have these clicked, and I would unclick them while gaming, to be honest. And you have your reboot your router button. You have your factory reset all your settings to factory. If you want to have an interface protected password, you can set it up here. And the cloud settings, NETDUMA updates the server's locations, so I would leave this all up to them and just click this. When a game first drops, the locations are like way off, and people will report the proper location. So within time, this will help the locations be more accurate. Click apply cloud settings and themes. I believe there's only two by default built into this OS, and that's gonna do it. That's gonna wrap it up. That's pretty much it. Down here, if you have a manual here to answer your commonly asked questions, and you have the forum where you can post and ask for support. They are very active in their forum, so a lot of people there that can lend a hand if you ever need it. Select your time there. Before upgrading any of your firmware, I recommend you visit the forum and see the recommended settings. Sometimes upgrading can be a little tricky, so I highly recommend you visit their forum before you do any upgrading. And of course there'll be a follow through of exactly of how to go about that. Anyways, this is gonna do it. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you learned something from it, slap that like button. It really helps the channel grow. If you like what you see, subscribe. I'm only here to help. This has been Madman with Twisted Company. Catch you on the next one. Peace.